Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Bobby.
Good morning, Ed.
All right. Well, another day in this week.
Yeah.
Still alive, still kicking.
Say it's baseball season, man. So we are,
Is-
at games or practices all the time now.
Yeah. For kids and adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do baseball. It's not I only do football and then the other football.
Football Americano and football.
Yeah. Soccer.
Everywhere else.
Yeah.
Huh?
What we call soccer.
Yeah.
And that's why I like that on Apple TV, the show, the soccer player one, the soccer show that's on there. It's pretty good. I want to say Ted. I can't think of it.
Oh, I never heard of it.
Yeah. It's because you don't have Apple TV. We know.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You guys just have books at home.
Yeah. We have Hulu and Netflix.
I'm just kidding, man.
Like I said, I get one show a night.
One show a night?
Yeah.
Actually, I've been watching a lot of the older shows again because, back in the day when I was a kid and an adult, we didn't have things you can see on demand like we do now, right? If you missed that damn show, you had to wait until it was replayed during the rerun segment, and we never watched it. So,
I kind of miss those days. It's kind of nostalgic, right? And it would get everyone together at the same time, right? You all get together and go watch the show at someone's house at 8:00.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now you still have that because a lot of the stuff like on Paramount and some of the other programs, they do one episode a week, right? And so you can still get together. I'm not going to say that one with the plus because we'll move on from there, but I do like The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Well, it's funny is that when my wife and I first got together, The Bachelorette was a big thing. And so
I never was into that.
Her and all the girls would get together and they'd watch it. And that's husbands. We'd get together too. And we'd just be drinking beer in the kitchen.
Hey, that works.
It's a good excuse to get together on a weekday, right?
That's right. Yeah. It's what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, you still have that now when you're going to have your kids play with other people's kids.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just goes from the Bachelorette to kids parties, right?
Or you do like some of us did with, I know a lot of soccer moms who, if you would have smelled what was in their coffee cup, it wasn't necessarily coffee.
Like I say, when they're passing their coffee cup to their friend, we already know, right?
Right. Well, then later in the day, oh, you got wine? Yeah.
I saw that at the baseball field this weekend.
Yeah, it's
you're sharing water, huh? That's interesting.
Got to do something while you're out there for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, there were so many of my kids in soccer, and then or Ajax, however you want to say that stupid thing. We're competitive soccer, competitive this. We're for years, up to 5 years, we were doing that with our daughters. I'd be in one city a weekend, and my wife would be in a different city because, of course, they're on different teams. And then finally, we're like, enough is enough. We're done. We want to have time for us during the summer. Yeah. Enough, kids.
Like I say, kids don't realize that, right?
No, my mom didn't go to one single of my soccer games in high school or track or any of the stuff I did.
Yeah.
Never showed up. And then I had to ride my bike home or walk home afterwards. If you can do that much energy, you can ride yourself home. And that was Tarlac High School, and we lived on West Avenue, Maine, by the freeway. That was a few miles.
Yeah, that's a ride, man.
Yeah. So am I complaining? Maybe. But I got something to complain about.
Gotcha.
Some of these kids these days, I don't know why they complain. Life is not supposed to be super easy. It's supposed to give you challenges, so it makes your character better.
Well, what cracks me up is like, so my kids all the time, they'll say, I have nothing to do. And I'm like, you have a trampoline, you have a basketball hoop, you have a backyard, we can go out.
Yeah, that's outside.
Right. Well, we can play catch, right? So there's always something to do, right? I mean, that's when you live in the suburbs, man, you get to play, right? Well, a good friend of mine, he has 10 acres. They have all kinds of toys and stuff like that. And his son was like, Dad, I have nothing to do.
All right, go move that over there.
Yeah, he's like, don't tell me that, kid.
Yeah, because I'll put you to work.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and kids these days are on video games so much. Not that I am complaining, because I played my own pinball and other video games as a kid and into adulthood. I'm not knocking, but you have to get other stuff to do. But I don't know how we got on the subject, but let's get back to real estate.
Well, I was going to say that actually kind of ties into something, because I tell my kids, think about this. If we were living in an apartment, right?
Right.
How much you really wouldn't have to do.
Right.
And I did, doing property management for 15 years. I saw families the same size as mine, live in an apartment, and there's also something to think about where you have to be quiet. You have neighbors. You can't be making noise.
Really?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be making noise as much, but people don't care.
Well, and so now correct me if I'm wrong, but first time home buyer, right? Even if you've owned a home in the past, if it hasn't been in the last 2 years,
No, 3 years.
3 years.
Not owned a home in the last 3 years.
Yeah. So then you technically are considered a first time home buyer.
Correct.
Then, so
yeah, and how they look at that is your tax returns.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
You know, if you put interest on there and that kind of stuff.
I never asked. So
no, that's kind of how we look at, because you can't really, they don't technically, I guess they can search, because you, in a first time home buyer and a couple, only one person has to be a first time home buyer.
Okay. Now, are there any kind of specialty loan programs out there right now?
Just the CalHFA.
Just the CalHFA, the one we keep hearing everywhere we go.
Yeah. 20% down. We give you 20% down, no interest on that second. Thank God. Originally they were going to hit you with appreciation interest.
Yikes.
Yeah, that was like in California, 22%. So 1 year you're going to hit me 20. You know, how are you averaging it? But it's 0, which is not bad. But you owe them 20% equity until you pay them off. So the issue is going to be, you got to do, your property has to go up about 100, and, you know, to truly pay them off and have no mortgage insurance, everything has to go about 40 some percent.
So you're going
to be there a few years.
A long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you could do it and get more, you know, doing a 90% rate and term refinance or a 95, but why? Your rate's not going to be that much better. And that's the other thing you got to look at is, if you're stuck in this program and then all of a sudden we have a flow of inventory, which we're not going to, but just hypothetically, if you do, and your price point doesn't go up, you're not going to be able to refinance out of that high interest rate unless they come up with their own special program.
Gotcha. Like within the CalHFA program.
Correct. And say, okay, yes, we know we stuck you into this and you're stuck here at a 5 or 7, 6% or whatever. And now you're going to, in order to get a lower price point through us, CalHFA, you have to do this.
Gotcha.
And that, I'm sure they'll come up with something, because it's a government program in the state of California. They're not going to take people complaining about it.
Well, and so here's something to think about, right? Because this is what I've heard a lot is like, for the first time.
Oh, by the way, if you want to know any more about that program, reach out to me. I'm Ed Parcaut everywhere. Or reach out to Bobby at 209-550-1087. I can't read that.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah,
the screen that I replaced my big screen with a smaller screen because I used it. I tried to match the monitors in here, and now it's like everything's small because I have it so far back.
Gotta put those glasses back on.
Yeah, it's here. But then I get the like stuff me, like right? You do. Yeah.
I took my glasses off for one video, and my friend was like, "I didn't recognize you." But yeah, so this is one of the first times in many years where renters are like, "Look, my rent's $2,000 a month. You know, my mortgage is going to be more. How does this make sense?" Well, temporarily.
Well, but one's an investment, and one you're taking $2,000, put in the middle of the street and walking away from it.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm just saying, technically, that's what you're doing. You're throwing it away.
But most first-time home buyers have never owned a home, so they don't see the long-term investment of it, right?
Right.
But that's going to change real quick once rates go back down.
Right. You know, which we're saying May 10th, we're going to see another drop. So, yeah. And then you're going to see everybody coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah. Then it's so. Yeah. You know, the other day we were talking about me working on my Mustang, right? So I've had this car for 4 years. I've been saving up to finish it. And I'm like, I better do it now, because I know as soon as rates drop, it's going to be bonkers out there.
Well, the biggest issue is still going to be, we need inventory. Yeah. I mean, we talked about this on Tuesday. There was 450,000 average homes sold in California a year, and we were at 250 some thousand last year. Yeah. That's almost half of the amount of homes we normally do in California. And I guarantee you this year, it's going to be that or less, right? They still they're not building a ton of new homes. There's some out there, but there's not enough. We need more inventory. So if you are thinking about leaving California, please do.
Yeah.
And that's not negative. That's just positive. Now is the time to sell. Values are going to be back up. You got multiple offers on your property. And so now would be the time to move.
Yeah, I mean, there was that initial shock when the interest rates kind of crept up a lot last year, right? But
before the pandemic, when we thought we were going to die, right? That couple of years where everybody thought everybody was going to die, and a lot of people did. We need that again to get those rates there. But prior to that, 2018 and 19, rates are in the 4s to 5s.
Yeah,
we just got that initial 2 years that was so low, messed up everything.
I agree.
And when I was putting people on these rates, I'm like I am setting us up to not have many homes going forward to come on the market. I could just see it happening, because why would you want to make that difference? When rates get closer in the 3s and 4s, we'll see more people moving, right? Because it's only 1% change, not double, right? When you go from a 3% to 7.25%, that's 4% difference. If it's 1%, that's not a major deal. People will start moving at that time.
Yeah, I mean that really just kind of sucked all the wind out of the market at that time, and we saw things, slow down to a trickle.
Right.
But
Because the worst thing was nobody knew if it was going to stop going up, right? Or when it was going to stop going up. It is now coming back the other way, and it's continually slowly moving down. It's not going to go down overnight. It's going to take time. So you just have to understand, buy the house that you like, and understand you're going to refinance 1 or 2 times, and that's what I think pool companies are hurting. Home improvement companies are going to start hurting, because people are like, I can take 50 grand or 100 grand on my house, remodel it, do all this stuff, and my payment went down by $100.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen now, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, we do see a ton of pent up buyer demand. So like you said, coming in May, if you're on the fence, you're thinking about it, go ahead and reach out to Ed, get pre-approved and start shopping now, because you don't want to be that person that's jumping, on the bandwagon after everyone else has got on there too.
Right. So if you own a home and you're thinking about selling, sell your home and rent it back for 60 days while you're looking for homes. Don't be a contingent offer now, because no one's going to be accepting contingent offers going forward. Or they shouldn't, because they're going to be wanting, why should I wait for you to sell your house? Yes, I know you can sell your house fast, but I got this cash offer, I got this offer, and they close in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. We're definitely going to be back in that area where getting the contingent offer accepted is really hard, unless the sellers or
right. And there is a program out there called Buy Before You Sell, which you can able to buy and then sell your house afterwards. I just think it's better to just rent back and be done with it. I have people right now going, oh yeah, because back then people were like, I'll rent it. Here's what we'll do. We'll let you have it for 60 days at no cost to you if you accept my offer.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to be back to.
Yeah.
Right. So, but there is that program where you can look at, if you are going to sell and you want to buy wherever you're going to move to, or in the same place, there is that program out there. If you want questions answered on that, just reach out to me.
And tying into contingencies, right? That's one thing that first time home buyers, if you're renting right now, that is some leverage you have against a lot of other offers out there, because you may have homeowners that have a few $100,000 equity in their house, but if you can be a non-contingent offer, that's one less domino that we have to worry about, knocking down. So buyer or sellers are going to pick a non-contingent, full price offer or overpriced offer.
And also, say that you're a renter right now and you're going to buy this home, offering that 60 days for them to close and find their place is way better than, not. What I mean is, that's just, you can still rent, right? You don't have a payment for 45, 60 days. Yeah. And the way we're set up, we can actually throw in a couple of days extra interest to get you to, we don't have your first payment for 60 days. We can do that. So, talk to your loan officer about it. Or if you don't have one, reach out to me. I'm Ed Parcaut everywhere.
Perfect.
All right, everybody, make it a great day. Bobby, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, everybody, get out there, get shopping.